The Other Woman, which is the new film by Nick Cassavetes. You will have seen the posters and the trailers. So the setup, essentially, I mean, you can come into this story from one of two different ways, but you can start with the Cameron Diaz character, you can start with the Leslie Mann character. Let's start with the Leslie Mann character. So Leslie Mann is a housewife who has a husband who from everything. It's Nikolai Coster-Waldau, and he is he's handsome and all the rest of it, and he's obviously therefore very horrible, and he's having a relationship with Cameron Diaz, and she finds out that he's having a relationship with Cameron Diaz when Cameron Diaz turns up on his doorstep to surprise him, only to discover that he already has a wife at home. They then sort of have a little bit of spat, but then they kind of end up bonding until they discover that he's cheating on the both of them with somebody else played by Kate Upton. So the trio decide to get together and get their own back on the philanderer.
So what do you want to do?
Okay, this may sound wrong, but I kind of want him to hurt. I want to be the one who makes him start a whole new life because I took it away from him. I want him to feel what I feel, but worse.
So you're talking about maximum pain, right?
We should kick him in the balls.
It's like a really good thought, and actually I like the way your brain works, but I think we're thinking about something a little bit bigger than that.
You know what? It doesn't really matter anyway because he's always going to wind up on top because he's a killer and I'm not.
That's not true, you know that. You're not alone in this.
You have us.
Exactly. When you put the lawyer, the wife, and the boobs together, you got the perfect killing machine.
I do?
Yes. What I'm saying is that if you want to take him down, then let's take him down. We have him surrounded.
Surrounded.
And if we put our brains together,
Three of us?
the three of us can be just as shady as he can.
Are you annoyed? Well, so the poster and the trailer and everything sort of try to sell this as kind of, sisters doing it for themselves, turning the tables, although the fact of the matter is that sisters don't appear to be doing it for themselves or for each other or, frankly, for the audience. It's one of those, kind of, what do they call it, high-concept comedies. And
what's the concept here, then?
The concept is, they're turning the tables, they get their own back, yay! And the problem with it is, firstly, that it promises to kind of invert those power structures, and it does nothing but play into all the worst kind of stereotypes. So you got the housey one, and you got the clever one, and you got the pulchritudinous one, and you got the. It's just like, really, if those characters were in any other movie, you just go, no, I'm sorry, we don't. No, thank you very much. There was one review I read which said, very funny, which said Hollywood 1, Bechdel 0. And the other problem with it is that it's one of those movies that imagines that great jollity and hilarity is provoked by the sight of seeing people sort of being slightly shrieky and slightly hysterical and slightly crazy together. It looks like they all had a great time making it, which is always the indication that something is an absolute club, particularly when it comes to comedy. The more fun you had making comedy, the chances are the less fun it is to watch. And it's directed by Nick Cassavetes. I mean, for the writing is very flat. It's got none of the sort of the sharpness of. Do you remember First Wives Club?
I remember it. I don't remember seeing it.
Oh, okay. But I mean First Wives Club had some issues, but it was actually a much sharper, much funnier film. That was the thing in which there's that fantastic line about in Hollywood there are three ages of woman: babe, district attorney, and driving Miss Daisy. And I mean, so there's nothing to match that level of wit in I can't remember what the name of the film is now. What's it called? In The Other Woman. It's directed by Nick Cassavetes. I remember being in Cannes when they played that Nick Cassavetes film. What was it called? She's Delovely, and it was awful, and everyone was sort of trying. He ended up directing Nick Sparks adaptations, and it's got this just incredibly plodding. It's not just tab A into slot B. It's like the trick of comedy, or the secret of comedy, is that it has to be really rigorous, and we appear more and more to be in a state in which people think that actually the trick of comedy is just to, yay, go crazy, woo, yeah, hey, empowerment, woo. And I'm just going, these people are setting my teeth on. I mean, it's not Sex and the City 2. We're not at that level of annoyance. But I suspect that even the target audience will not laugh that much. It's actually, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. It's quite annoying rubbish as well.
But you did manage to use pulchritudinous.
Yes.
Pulchritudinous. Yes, which I think is terrific.
So that justifies it.
I think that justifies the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Simon. Yeah. Woo. The Other Woman. Woo.